Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For today, you read right, we're gonna be making a 5-minute baklava. Well, don't get me wrong, this isn't gonna be ready to eat in 5 minutes. It's gonna be assembled in only 5 minutes versus, the 35 to 40 minutes that it usually takes to prepare. So let's get started. Here I have a little saute pan. Before we assemble this baklava, you need to start making the syrup because it has to be icy cold when you put it on top of the hot baklava. That way it stays extra crispy and delicious. Now this is a cup of water and a cup of sugar. This is basically like, you can just leave it like that if you want, or you can add like orange peel and a cinnamon stick and even some honey. These are optional add-ins. This is like a half a cup of honey that I'm gonna add. You're gonna bring this up to a simmer and allow it to cook for just 10 minutes until the sauce is made. I'm then gonna put it into a shallow dish and put it in the fridge so that it could start cooling down. We're gonna have to chop 3 cups of nuts. The nuts that you choose, it can either be all walnuts or you can mix it up and add a little bit of some almonds, some pistachios. I've even seen somebody use pine nuts in their mixture and they highly recommended it. I thought I'd try it out sometime, but you just need 3 cups of nuts and you could do it by hand, of course, but you know me. If I'm pulling out the food processor, it means it's gonna take a lot of time and just be a lot faster to do it in this guy. I'm adding the sugar, about a half a cup, and the cinnamon. Add about a teaspoon. I think I went a little over. But this is like, you don't really need to measure this. You could just eyeball it. Don't go too overboard though. Cinnamon could be a little strong. Now you can add other spices here. You can add like nutmeg, or what else have I seen people add? Allspice? Alright, I'm going to add the lid and I am going to pulse this. Now you don't want to pulse it too don't go too crazy and make this into a mush. Just wash it. You don't want it too big also because then the nuts are just going to be falling out of the baklava when you cut it. Whoa! So just keep an eye on it. Alright, I think we're good. Alright, let's take a little look. Whoa. Oh my gosh, I think I really broke this food processor. I've been so rough with it. This is what it looks like. Oh my god, this is just I already know I'm gonna be eating baklava because it's look at the smell and the deliciousness of it. Look at the syrup. It's been about 10 minutes on a low simmer and you can see it's pretty thick. So I'm gonna turn off the heat. Take the syrup, guys, and put it in a shallow dish just so that it cools off faster. Alright, now that it's cooled a few minutes, I'm going to take it and put it in the freezer. You just want this to get icy cold, you guys. I'm not joking. If you guys put warm syrup on warm baklava, it's going to be such a soggy mess. It's going to ruin the whole thing. So make sure that gets chilled. Alright guys, now for the fun part. We got our nuts chopped, the syrup's in the fridge. We're gonna be assembling the baklava. This is ghee that I have right here. I'm using ghee, which is clarified butter, because as you guys may already know, butter is I don't know how many % water butter has. So we just don't want any butter to make this baklava soggy, like I was saying. So we're gonna take this ghee, which is butter where all the water part was taken out. So you just have nice, pure, butter fat. Whoa, this smells like a cow. I'm gonna take this. This is, how many ounces was this? It was 9 ounces. So about a cup of butter, and I'm just gonna stick this in the microwave to melt it. Now that the butter is melted, here I have the phyllo dough. This phyllo dough you could find in the frozen dessert section of your grocery store. You're gonna let it, like, okay, either put it in the fridge overnight so it'll defrost and thaw, or you could leave it on your counter frozen for at least 2 hours, and then it becomes room temperature. Do not unwrap it because it'll dry out and then it'll just become a crumbly mess. It'll be so difficult to work with. And what we're gonna be doing now is, you would typically, like, because phyllo dough usually comes in like this big long roll, but this one comes in 2. I guess they already pre-cut it for you. But we're gonna put half of the layer on the bottom and then half of the layer on top. This baking sheet has been slightly greased just so the bottom doesn't stick. I'm gonna unroll this just as so. Here it goes. Oh my god. The feeling of this is just wonderful. Look at how thin these are. It's so soft and delicate. Add this to your pan. All right, I added the first layer. As you can see, I cut a little bit of like this part because I just don't want anything to overlap. Oh, this is crazy. This literally saved me like 20 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna take all the nut mixture and I'm just gonna plop it right on top. This is a lot of nuts. Like, if you were to buy baklava from, you know how sometimes you're like, can I order a sheet of baklava? It has like a really thin layer of nuts and it costs very expensive. It's like, what, how much does a sheet of baklava cost? Like, I would say it costs like maybe 50, if not more. I haven't ordered it in a very long time. But it's like this, you're really gonna, this is why I like making stuff myself, because you can add like as much as you want and you could just really customize it and make it one of the best. Ooh, look at that. I just love how they make this like a perfect fit nowadays. How cool. All right, chopping off the edges. You know what I love about this is that you're working so quickly. All of these layers, they don't even have a chance to dry out. So hey, this is awesome, right? Oppa! I could just imagine all of the yayas out there. This is not gonna make people very happy. I mean, this is not the correct way to make baklava. And everybody is gonna be very upset. I have a lot of friends and family members in Greece that watch my channel, and I know this is gonna upset them. So signal me, everyone. We're gonna cut it in squares. Make sure you make the squares perfect, because when the baklava looks like perfectly symmetrically cut, it just makes all the difference. It's a very beautiful presentation. So measure out if you need to. I'm gonna measure this and then I'm gonna cut perfect squares. So I cut the baklava into perfect, almost perfect squares. Now I'm gonna take all that melted butter and just pour it right on top. Oh my gosh, how luxurious does this look? Like a swimming pool of butter. Move it around and get it in all those crevices. Mmm. It smells like popcorn almost from the butter. Oh my gosh. Get in there, little guy. We're gonna bake this for 1 hour at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Look at that, guys. 30 minutes have passed and look how beautiful the squares have plumped up. And the house smells so incredible. And this baklava is ready. Wow. Look at that. This looks picture perfect, doesn't it? I'm gonna take that syrup that we had cooling down. This is what it looks like. It's so thickened. I'm gonna pour it right over this sizzling hot baklava. Here we go. Whoa. Do you hear that sizzle? How delicious. And the smell is insane. All right, guys, now for the moment of truth. I'm gonna cut a piece open and we're gonna examine what this baklava looks like on the inside. So here we go. Ooh, whoa! I can't believe this worked. I was so scared. I was like, all of the Greek yayas are gonna be like, Ti ekanes edo mori tiskata. Look at that. A trillion layers of deliciousness. Look at, there's so much nuts in here that it's just like oozing out, and this is hot. Let's put on a plate and take a little sample. Ready for some baklava action. Look how, this is so thick. I'm just looking how thick I made this. I put so much nuts. I think I ended up putting, I gotta go back and see how many ounces those nuts were because this filling is so thick. Look at the bottom. Oh my gosh. It's like all the butter just completely went and evenly distributed all over. Whoa. I was so scared. Whoa. So crispy. That golden brown color gives this such an intense taste. Let's try the nuts. Man, that's a lot of filling. Hot. Uh-oh. As usual, I'm in trouble. This is one of the most heavenly things anybody can eat. It's very simple and delicious. Now, if you guys enjoyed this recipe, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Leave your comments down below if you tried it out. And as usual, stay tuned for more quick and easy recipes, all of them always with a unique twist.